wind the clock and get us kicked off here in this state championship matchup. Meanwhile, the Fort Wayne Snider Panthers dressed in their black jerseys with the gold trim and white and gold down the side of the trunks, and they're moving in the opposite direction here at Coon Stadium. Beautiful night here on Halloween evening here in 2009 as we get set for the 16th annual crowning of a girls state champion in the state of Indiana. Right wing now is the Irish trying to build from right to left on the play. Picked up in the midfield third by Jasmine Whitaker for the Irish. She looks on the right wing now. The pass is now knocked out of the defense nicely by the Panthers, and they'll retreat to the midfield third. Now chip pass on the play, nicely done by Shopper, who's actually getting the start. So Abby Shopper, the freshman, is in there, and that's good to see, Coach.
Yes, it is.
She, of course, had the migraine earlier and is able to come out there as talking to Coach Behringer before the game as they were warming up on the west side of the field during the boys' game. And he was mentioning that she had to kind of take a seat and relax a little bit and kind of get things under control. But great to see the student-athlete out there. Panthers trying to turn some heat up in the kitchen right now as the Irish get it to the midfield third. Tip pass on the play, nicely done by number 10, Taylor Stevens, and an easy corral on the play by Kara Fitzgerald, the fine netminder for the Irish. As we mentioned, 23 matches, and after the victory earlier today, 16 shutouts on the season. So that Irish squad, which was actually not scored upon in the entire postseason, finally giving up a goal this afternoon. We're down to 38-20 remaining in a scoreless first half as the ball goes over by the far touchline. That's where all the Zionsville boys fans were earlier. That place was packed up earlier this evening. Now on the wing, the Irish trying to get something going here as they approach the touchline. Good job of sealing off defensively, but that's going to be the first corner kick of the match, and it's going to come on the play to Anna Ventimiglia. She is a senior and does a great job on the corners for the Irish.
It looks as if when he put Shopper in, he's moved Jasmine Whitaker up to the front line, and Mariah Whitaker's back in the midfield.
Here's the kick now. It's loose in the mixer. An opportunity goes in, a shot, and a goal! The Irish have taken the lead at the 2:21 mark of the match as getting mobbed in the midfield area over there for the Irish is number 7 for Cathedral, Sophie Spina. And Spina's going to come up with her 8th goal of the campaign on the corner. And here again is Ventimiglia setting the table as she gets it into the mixer on the play. The ball is off a couple defenders, comes in and kicking it in on the far side just outside the goal box. Spina on the spot there for the goal. So the goal comes at 2:21 of the match. And Sophie doing a great job there, just kind of lifting up the right leg and kicking it past Krista Hedrick to give the Irish the early lead. So once again, Coach, we talked about 65% of postseason goals coming on set pieces.
Yes, and that first goal is so important.
We'll see right now what happens with the Snider offensive attack. This is the first time today that they've trailed in a soccer match. They were ahead, of course, in the second half of that match earlier against the Tigers from Evansville Memorial. Now a nice pass into the midfield third for these Panthers, trying to get something going on the left side of the play. Nice spinorama move up there by Liz Carr, but too many Irish, and now coming back on the counter is Jasmine Whitaker, the sophomore. She comes across the midfield stripe, centering pass in the midfield third, and I believe they did not wave him offside, so Hedrick had to come out. The Snider defense was looking for a flag on the near side, and boy, sometimes if you start looking at that linesman, you get yourself in trouble. So the Cathedral Fighting Irish bidding to pick up a state championship here today, and they've got the early lead in this one, but a lot of soccer to be played here at Coon Stadium.
Looks as though Snider likes to play a diamond in the back, and they have 3 forwards that they have to track with 3 backs, and so they might have a little bit of trouble.
Now a 50-50 ball over the midfield stripe. Trying to pursue the soccer ball there was number 4, Liz Foss, for the Panthers, and now it comes back, and from her left fullback position will be Catherine Parker. Parker trying to headman. Good job on the play by the Irish and Luking. And now they go into the corner looking for Jasmine Whitaker. She gets sealed off. They avoid the corner, but it'll be a throw-in for the Irish. So 2:21, the time of the goal by Sophie Spina, her 8th of the campaign. And now they're going to call a violation on the cross. Ismail Atala blowing the whistle, and it's going to be a free kick opportunity now for the Panthers deep in their defensive third. Jim Laborde taking over for Tony Cardenas, the head coach of the Panthers, and the gentleman to my immediate right was able to come up with a state championship win over Coach Cardenas. That particular match occurring back in 2004-2005 school year, as Coach culminated a 21-2-1 campaign and picked up his 8th state championship. 35-11 now remaining in the first half of play, and a 1-0 lead for the Fighting Irish of Indianapolis Cathedral. They're dressed in the yellow jerseys with the blue trim. Spinorama move by the aforementioned Spina. She tries to go into the corner, and that time coming up to the midfield area was Alex Meter, the sophomore forward. And it turned out that she went to the inside of the box, but the pass went outside. Cathedral now will build from left to right from the midfield area. They try to pass into the mixer, headed temporarily there on a deflection by Whitaker, but that was on the right side and nobody home for the Fighting Irish. Parker now for the Panthers. Headmans it, knocked down nicely at the defense by Shopper for the Cathedral Irish. Right now, Coach Cathedral's fullbacks are coming way up to the midfield and supporting the midfield nicely.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job, and they're possessing the ball really well, but I still think it's the 3 against 3 in the front part for Cathedral that's getting the job done.
34-11 remaining here in the first half of play. You see part of the nice crowd out here. Great turnout as well from the Zionsville Eagles. There's head coach Jim Laborde. Jim doing a terrific job in his 4th season with this Panther ball club, and now he's had back-to-back state championship game appearances for the black and gold of Fort Wayne Snider High School. Not an easy task. And, of course, they play in that tough Summit Athletic Conference as well, which is a real barn burner over there in Northeast Indiana. Throw in now off the far side, trying to get into the corner on the play to Mariah Whitaker. And Ishmael Atala signals that it's going to be another throw in for the Fighting Irish. As I mentioned, the Irish coming in now at 18-4-2 on the campaign, and Fort Wayne Snider now at 17-3-3. And the 3 losses to for the Panthers this season is now coming out as Hedrick to make the stop. Of course, to the gentleman to my immediate right, Carmel 5-0, St. Ursula out of Ohio 4-1, and then to another Summit Athletic Conference foe in Fort Wayne Dwenger, as the Saints were able to beat them 5-2 during the campaign. Meanwhile, 4 losses for the Cathedral Fighting Irish to the aforementioned Dwenger Saints 2-1, on the road against Brownsburg 1-0, at Carmel 3-0, and then against Noblesville 2-0. 1-0 lead for Cathedral with 32:44 remaining. Nice job on the tip play for the aforementioned number 4 for the Panthers, Lizzie Foss, to knock it away. And now back comes Liz Carr on the left wing for the Panthers. Can't get anything going offensively. And you talked about that diamond defense there, Coach, and right now that's coming to the foray for the Irish.
Yeah, the Irish seem to be playing 4 across the back, and they have their 2 defensive mids. It looks like Luking and Scarlett, and they're allowing Whitaker to join the attack up front.
So it's going to be a goal kick opportunity now as you take a look at number 17 for the Irish, Maddie Fisher, a sophomore. She's able to put in 2 goals this season from her defensive position out there. The key for the Panthers offensively is going to be Meredith Shipman. She was able to pick up her 21st goal of the campaign, number 15, and right now she's coming into the mixer. The ball goes off of the Panthers, and it's going to be a goal kick now for Fitzgerald and the Irish. And very slow to get up on the far side is Allie Laborde, the 5'3 sophomore for the Panthers. Allie with a goal and 4 assists on the season. And that was a great play earlier today, Coach, that was made by Tiernan, as you talked about that nice run on the right ring which set up Meredith Shipman.
Yes, and I read in our score sheet here that actually came off the post. I didn't realize that, but it was a great play.
Yeah, kind of ticked off and then deflected to the left, and a great job by Shipman to fill the lane on the right wing. 31-14 remaining here in a 1-0 lead for the Fighting Irish. They pick up the goal at 2:21 of the match, and they get it off the right foot of number 7, Sophie Spina, off a corner from Annie Ventimiglia.